Rents are up 30%, but you can negotiate a lower rent. What to say to a landlord to get a lower rate? Before you book a flight, buy a gift card that can save you big bucks on airfare. Vintage clothing for pennies on the dollar. How secondhand shopping buys a first-class look for less. And a look at why grocery prices have jumped higher than inflation and stayed there, and what you need to know to beat them. And welcome to Dollars and Cents. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Heather Sullivan. This is the show to help you beat inflation, and we have pulled the best consumer reporting from Fox stations across the country to do it. So let's get started. First up, many tenants are really struggling with rents. They've soared nearly 30% just over the last few years. Rent.com says the average rent in Houston right now is $1,600. Now, the good news is that's actually down 9% from a year ago, but it's up 2% since last month. And competition for affordable housing is intense, but it is possible to negotiate a lower rent. Many renters still find themselves pounding the pavement.
I can find cheaper prices, but you're either going to go into some more impoverished areas to get a cheaper price for rent, or you're staying in a building that was built in like the 1940s.
Rent prices across the country are 29.9% higher than they were before the pandemic, according to Zillow. But despite competition, Rent.com's Kate Terhune says it's actually possible to negotiate a lower rent. She says find out the rent being asked for nearby comparable units, or if you're renewing a lease, what your property managers are offering new tenants.
You've got your data in front of you. You can say, hey, look, I really love this apartment. Can you match the competitor next door and come down in price? And more often than not, you might be surprised. You might get a deal.
She says you can also ask for concessions, such as 1 month's free rent or discounts on parking or fees, especially for newly built properties that need to fill units.
Know who's offering what concession, because that can usually be taken to the place that you really want. And those people will want your rent money, so they will negotiate with you.
To boost your chances for a good deal, sell yourself as a good renter. Take your rental and payment history and references from previous landlords.
If you've got great credit, pull your credit report and show them in advance, hey, look, I have, fantastic credit. I've always paid my bills on time.
And while rents have started to tick down, don't expect a dramatic drop this year, as long as mortgage rates stay high and construction of affordable rentals lags behind demand.
It just kind of seems like you can't get anything inside the loop or close to the loop for less than about $1,400 or $1,500.
So to determine how much rent you can afford, it really should be no more than 30% of your monthly income. So if you make $56,000 a year, that's $1,400 a month for rent. When we talked about the average being $1,600, that's why it is so hard on so many people right now. So here's one more tip. Rents are lower in the winter and they're higher in the summer. So try and save by moving in the wintertime. Now, I started sharing this secret with you last week. You can save a lot of money on airfare by buying airline gift cards that are sold at a discount. I did a deep dive into this, and I want to share more about what I found, plus some ways that you can turn some other gift cards into airline miles. Costco currently offers $500 Southwest Airlines gift cards for about $450, both in store and on its website. So when you book a flight with one, it can save you $50.
Maybe it's been a membership secret that folks who belong to those clubs haven't shared, but those can be a great way to save some money on upcoming trips.
A customer is limited to 5 Southwest gift cards, but Eric Rosen with the Points Guy says you can stack up more savings.
I would also say try to use a credit card that might get you extra bonus rewards or cash back. If you're a member of Costco for this deal specifically, if you're an executive club member with them, that means an extra 2% back on your purchase.
Costco also offers other discounted gift cards that could save money on trips, such as Spa Finder and Golf Now, each offering two $50 gift cards for $79, a $21 savings. Sam's Club members can buy discounted gift cards for Southwest, Disney, and Airbnb. And BJ's Wholesale offers gift cards with small discounts to Southwest, Delta, Amtrak, Airbnb, Disney, and SeaWorld. If you have gift cards to other retailers you don't plan to use, you can turn them into air miles. United Airlines has a Mileage Plus gift card exchange program for 100 retailers, including Starbucks, Target, even Southwest Airlines. The website says for a $100 gift card, you'll get at least 2,660 miles on United. The cards must have at least $15 value. There's a 7.5% federal excise tax, and the Mileage Plus account must have been open for at least 90 days. And lastly, Alaska Airlines and United Mileage plans currently offer 35% off Avis and budget rental cars plus air miles. And Southwest Airlines offers its members 1,000 Rapid Rewards bonus points if you file your taxes through TurboTax. So check your airline loyalty program for discounts that you may be able to cash in before you check in. Now, discounted airline gift cards are usually only sold through wholesale membership clubs, which means paying a membership fee if you're not already a member. So you want to weigh the cost of that membership against what you'll save, or if you'll use that membership to save on some other things as well. The gift cards do not expire, but they usually are non-refundable, so you do want to make sure that you plan to fly on that airline before you buy. Now, a reality television star from Love is Blind is now loving vintage clothing sold for a fraction of the cost. Our Ruben Dominguez shows us how it can help you to buy vintage pieces for pennies on the dollar.
Guys, good morning to you. The man of the hour, Chris Fox himself. Thanks for having us, man.
Yes, sir.
And we talked a little bit in the previous hour. You said you guys haven't been here that long, but the customers come out in droves.
Love it, love it. Lines
I love that.
around the building.
I love that.
Yes,
all right,
sir.
so look, we picked out some stuff, and we're going to show you how this works. All right, guys, look at this. This is the good Carhartt stuff. This stuff used to be just like working man's clothes. This stuff's expensive
this
now.
is high-end stuff.
And you can come here and get some of this stuff. All right, hold the bag for me, Chris. So this is how it works. They give you this big bag. Bag is free when you walk through the door. I got another buddy of mine, Sean. He's a big Ferrari nut. I'm doing my Christmas shopping right now. That's for him. I'm going to save some money. Let's see here. Now, I was looking for a Central Michigan anything. DeLon couldn't find anything. And Melissa Wilson, I know she went to Baylor, but she has a son at UT, so that's going in the bag. We'll go with
Fill
this.
it all the way up.
Fill it all the way up. And for all you long time, going way back Fox viewers, Martin. There you go. Yeah, okay, I'm old because I remember that. And I got some shorts. These are like brand new, man. Look at these Adidas.
Oh, yeah.
Might be a little big, but it doesn't matter. All right, so now what do we do?
Quality. So you'll just take your bag, bring it all the way over here to the checkout.
Okay.
Set it on the scale. And so today is Monday, so it's $5 per pound. So
Okay.
you have 17 pounds for $5. You get $90.
I love that. And guys, what
Full
you
bag
didn't
of
see,
clothes.
I've also got like 6 pairs of jeans down there that I picked out, and 1 pair of Levi's is actually like brand new, still had the little plastic tag thing. All right, so what are the hours of operation for you guys?
So Friday through Sunday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're open noon to 8.
And now, and last question though, I got to ask because a lot of people at the station, mostly my female colleagues, had asked. Any thought to returning to the world of reality in the future?
I would love to. I'm single, so right back into the dating scene.
There
so
you
I'm
go.
excited.
Do you need an agent?
Yeah.
Okay,
If you've
done
got
deal,
somebody
brother,
for
done
me.
deal. I work cheap. I work cheap. All right, guys, come check them out. It is Vintage Supply right here on Richmond. Ruben Dominguez, Fox 26 News.
Ooh, Ruben is wheeling and dealing, but that was some big savings, so you might want to check it out. Now, the biggest changes in decades are coming to how Americans buy and sell homes. The National Association of Realtors has agreed to settle a series of lawsuits by paying $418 million in damages and eliminating its rules on commissions. So this could make it easier for home buyers to negotiate fees with their own agents, but it could also lead to more buyers to skip using agents altogether. Consumer advocates say the current arrangement has prevented buyers from negotiating to save money and kept commissions in the U.S. higher than in most of the world. But many realtors say this may also result in less transparency and buyers getting less experienced agents to save money. I'm going to have much more on the pros and cons of this from experts in the field coming up for you next week. Now, Walmart is offering lower prices on Easter staples to help shoppers navigate the rising food costs. The company is discounting items like ham, pineapple, potatoes, and eggs to pre-inflation levels. The retailer is also offering deals on items to fill up those Easter baskets. Walmart says 65% of shoppers expect the high cost of food to impact their celebrations. And Target, by the way, is also offering an Easter meal deal for under $25. And I know if you've been to a grocery store lately, you know those prices are still among the top concerns. It's among the top concerns whenever I talk to you guys about inflation. So Fox Business reporter Kelly Saberi takes a look at what's really happening with food prices.
Inflation could be leading shoppers to this German-based store. Some surveys say this is the cheapest option for U.S. shoppers for staples like bread and eggs. Aldi isn't just quirky for the fun of it. Some of these practices are what keep their costs low, including having to bag your own groceries and use a quarter to get your shopping cart. Aldi saying in a statement, quote, with up to 40% savings on groceries, new customers are inspired to try us out, and existing customers keep coming back. Grocery prices have skyrocketed 25% since 2019, outpacing overall inflation. A recent YouGov survey says a lot of people are now blaming major corporations for being greedy. Stores and suppliers have clashed over prices. The biggest grocer in the U.S. is Walmart. It accounts for 25% of the market. And in 2022, its CEO, Doug McMillon, asked companies to, quote, help us not have to pass something on to a customer. Meanwhile, one White House report says grocery store profit margins are higher than pre-pandemic levels. Therefore, consumers are the ones feeling the pinch ahead of CPI report. The Biden administration hasn't gone after any corporations directly for price gouging. Aldi is also expanding by acquiring Southeastern Grocers, which runs Winn-Dixie and Harvey supermarkets. So if you're a viewer in the South, you may notice that your Winn-Dixie may soon turn into an Aldi. In Chicago, Kelly Saberi, Fox Business.
Interesting. Well, Mark Cuban's drug company began manufacturing its own medications last week. Cuban says that Cost Plus Drugs is using artificial intelligence and advanced robotics to rapidly produce a number of different drugs. The goal is to sell the drugs directly to consumers at low prices. Cuban says that Cost Plus now has 2,500 medications and different plans available. All right, so what do you think of the possible ban on TikTok? Congress has approved a ban, and now the Senate will consider the idea. Aside from the politics, Fox 26 business reporter Tom Ziska says the move could cause trouble for a lot of businesses and organizations that depend on the digital platform.
In a Sugarland auditorium on Sunday mornings, the new Momentum Church packs in crowds of worshipers, which is pretty remarkable since it's only existed a handful of weeks.
We started January 28th and had about 700 people come out to our first service.
Here in the city of Sugarland.
Pastor Daniel Gregory says the mostly millennial and Gen Z congregation comes from an aggressive social media campaign on TikTok and other platforms. Without it,
we'd be like 7 people meeting in a basement somewhere, you know? So having the church that we have is a result of being able to get our message out there to a broader reach of people.
In the Sunnyside neighborhood, business at the Butter Funk Kitchen remains brisk.
The flavor on point.
Last November, popular TikTok food reviewer Keith Lee offered a glowing recommendation of the Houston restaurant to his millions of followers. Owner Aaron Johnson says business exploded.
What a hell of a ride. Oh, man, it's been busy beyond my wildest dreams.
Divest from your parent company, which is beholden to the Chinese Communist Party.
The proposed TikTok ban came from a unanimous committee vote that the platform poses an unacceptable risk to national security by allowing the Chinese government to spy on and influence the American public. It's expected to get wide support from the full House, while those who depend on the digital platform say they'll be challenged without it.
Like, we're going to find a way to broadcast the message as loud as possible, but you're taking away a microphone from us if you do that.
There's Tom Ziska reporting, and as we mentioned, the House has now passed it, and we're waiting to see what the Senate will do. And now is the time to prepare for the total solar eclipse next month. You definitely don't want to be looking up at it without proper eye protection. You could suffer some serious damage if you do. So Fox's Steve Noviello shows us what to keep an eye out for as you look to protect your eyes.
This is going to be the eyeball, right?
April's total eclipse of the sun will last just less than 4 minutes and 30 seconds, but eye damage from improper viewing could last a lifetime.
You certainly don't want to be in a situation where you're looking at the eclipse with no eye protection.
Dr. Thomas Nyman says while the sun is no brighter or more intense during the eclipse, we are prone to look at it more.
It gives you a false okay that saying, oh, I'm looking at the sun, but it's blocked, so it's not as big of a deal.
In reality, it's a very big deal, for which you will need very specialized eye protection. Your sunglasses won't cut it because they only filter light. Properly rated eclipse glasses are essential eyewear.
So it blocks out a lot of the UV rays, because the UV rays are the ones that kind of damage, that can go straight to the back of the eye and kind of burn through the fovea, causing those long-lasting effects.
The tissue those UV rays will damage, seen here on this scan, atrophies and does not get better.
There's a chance that, it's going to be lifelong.
It's why eclipse enthusiasts have been pouring into stores like
hotcakes. Yeah, we're selling about 20 a day.
Jackson's Home and Garden in Dallas, where the prep work to procure eye protection started after a sellout during last year's annular eclipse.
I placed an order for another 1,000 in December, and it took until late February for them to come in. I might be able to get in one more order, not sure.
From a pair in cardboard for a couple of bucks to a pricier and more permanent plastic pair.
Can't see a thing.
Each set has one essential element.
Yeah, the certification is right on there.
To ensure your glasses are properly rated, ISO 12312-2 is the number you're looking for. Without it,
this is your retina.
Dr. Nyman may be looking for you. In Dallas, Steve Noviello, Fox 4 News.
And they're pouring in like hotcakes. All right, what do you think about this idea? More and more adults are ordering from the kids menu at restaurants to save money. The average American spends more than $2,500 a year on takeout. A new survey finds that 77% of adults think, hey, they should be allowed to order from the kids menu. It's cheaper. When it comes to actually doing it, though, only 1 in 5 people opt for the kids meal. Many restaurants do put age limits on the children's menu, but with online ordering and curbside pickup, that's all made it easier for adults to skip the rules and skip the judgment. And lastly, would you have python for dinner? Well, researchers are turning to snakes to potentially address food insecurity. A study says that the meat from pythons could solve that crisis. Researchers say that python farming could provide more food for those that are lacking meat, especially where it's already acceptable to eat reptiles. Test results show 2 types of pythons that were studied grow pretty rapidly. They are a little slithery, though. All right, that's our show. Thanks so much for joining us. Let me know what you think and any questions you have on Instagram, Facebook, or X. It's all Heather Sullivan, Fox 26. And you'll find more ways to save every day on Sullivan Smart Cents on fox26houston.com. We'll see you next time on Dollars and Cents.